So it's NBA All-Star Weekend. It's Sunday morning about 10 a.m. And this is actually kind of hard for me to record this because I grew up loving the game of basketball. I played it nonstop. I'm about to be 54 years old. So I grew up in an era where digital, social media, all of the video game platforms, internet, none of that stuff existed. For me, it was growing up around a basketball, playing for 4, 6, 8 hours in my backyard, and we didn't even have cement, and I was playing on grass. Played the game through elementary school, middle school, high school. Later in life, became a coach for 8 years, fortunate to win 7 championships. Coached at the middle school level, the high school level, the AAU level. I loved the game of basketball. Lived it, breathed it, slept it, coached it, taught it, mentored it, all of it. The NBA All-Star Weekend in the 80s and the 90s was basically must-see TV. It was something I looked forward to. What we see now is so different, and I'm curious what you guys think. And I'd love to get some comments in the down low in the comments and your feedback on what you actually think. You know, that guy the guy up over my shoulder here, up over here, the game was just played differently. The guy on the other corner, the game was played differently. The reasons for playing the game was different. It was less individuality and more about the team. There was less money involved as young players. Yeah, sure, Jordan had the Nike Air brand and Air Jordan brand, but the way that these guys been compensated in high school and then in college and making millions of dollars before they ever entered the game, it has to do something with it. It just has to have something to do with it. These guys played to earn fame, fandom, money, all of those things. But it was centered around the team. While Jordan led the league in scoring every year, Kobe, much the same type of thing. They were the leaders of their teams in that regard. The team game meant something more. And over the years, I think that has dwindled significantly. Now, the game is extremely popular with more younger viewers for the game of basketball than it is for any other sport. Now, where does that come from, I wonder? What would the reason for that be? Could it possibly be that it's a one-on-one trash-talking game that's played on the court, at the park, in the gym, on the street, in the driveway, and it's one-on-one and I'm better than you, versus something like football, baseball, hockey? You can't do, there's one-on-one elements to it. Like in hockey, can I get by the other guy? Or football, in the Oklahoma drill, can I tackle him? But it isn't the same in a game-type formula. It's more of a team game. You need 11 guys on the football field to play in concert with what you're doing to get to a desired outcome. So is that what's really driving it? You know, I did a piece maybe a month, 2 months ago about Kawhi Leonard. And he's missed 4 total NBA seasons, approximately 4 total NBA seasons, 2 of which are injury related and 2 of which are load management related. What is being talked about this All-Star Weekend? Is it the health of the game, the beauty of the game, the absolute ascension of the game? Or is most of the media talking about the problems within the league, the scandals within the league? Teams, the Utah Jazz and what they did a couple of weeks ago and resting all of their starters, that's not necessarily new. That's been going around for a while. And I think social media, amplifies this and it brings it more into the public consciousness. And then there needs to be an answer to it. And this jockeying for position for first round draft pick or overall first round pick or higher picks, Danny Ainge's decision from up top and trickled that down to not play those guys. This isn't the first time. It's just the most recent time that's getting a lot of publicity. So that's talked about. Chauncey Billups betting on games or in some way gambling that affects outcomes. You know, what we had with Tim Donaghy as a referee. Like, so what has actually happened to the game of basketball? This is not to say that there wasn't scandal in baseball. McGuire, Sosa, Palmeiro, all those guys with steroids. There was steroids in football. Go back to the Lyle Alzado days. A lot of you probably haven't heard of him way back in the day. And then Mark Gastineau was, reported that maybe he was, and he objects to that and denies that. A lot of other type of things that went on, Lance Armstrong and cycling. There's so much of it. There's scandal in all sports. But it seems like in a positive light, the NBA is very, very rarely, if ever, talked about in a positive light. Why is that? How come Adam Silver can't figure this out and let what was once a great game stand out? He says everything is on the table to review these tanking measures. What do you mean everything is on the table? If you in any way within this framework tank a game, you lose 2 first and a second round draft pick, and you decide that with the collective bargaining with the CBA and the Players Association, and you make a stand and put your game first. It's a laughing stock right now. This All-Star weekend, while the Damian Lillard, returning win of the 3-point contest, I believe his 3rd overall win. That's a nice story coming off of injury. But every other part of it is lackluster at best. Quite honestly, each league needs to get rid of a, quote, all-star game. None of it is watchable. None of it is entertaining. None of it is fun in any kind of way. You've got to find some other kind of way to have some sort of party and celebration, have maybe some of the older players, Hall of Fame players, get together with the younger players, do some type of roast or something. I don't know. I don't have all the answers, but the game itself, it's just silly. The whole skills and all this competition. Does anybody really care? I don't know what the ratings are, but it doesn't do anything for me. I haven't turned it on. Have you? People will say, oh, you're a boomer, you're 53, you're 54 years old. That's just you. I don't know, is it? I don't really hear a lot of people talking positively about this game. It's like the money is so big, the care is so less. The team concept, the team element is just, it's a mess. Chris Bosh in the last few days came out with a comment about LeBron and the way it was found out, and how Bosh was pushing through, I believe, a knee injury. And, now there's this rumor about, which, by the way, you can look on my YouTube account at PB Sports Talk and, smash that subscribe button. You can see what I said roughly 2.5 months ago. I was on a national show and I said that LeBron James will end up back on Cleveland, period. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. It will happen for different reasons, but it's much like Justin Verlander with the Tigers. But I love what Justin Verlander is. He's coming back. It's for the right reasons. He's going to mentor somebody like Tarek Skubal and the Tigers as a whole, retire where it all started, and it's a great story. LeBron already left, came back, left. How many times did he leave other teams? Now he's going to go back for the 3rd time and end where he started. It doesn't sound the same, look the same, feel the same. It seems forced. It seems contrived. It seems inauthentic for the wrong reasons. And who's he really mentoring? It's always been about him. And maybe that's really what the problem is that so many of the NBA players, it is about them individually. It is less about the team. It is less about the organization. It's what can I get out of this? How can I better myself? How can I not only advance my career and my income, but how can I advance my own interests? And I will do anything and everything to make that happen. If that means I got to play for 3 teams, 5 teams, 7 teams, well, that's what I'm going to do. There is no question that that has affected the game. If there is not a rivalry, and you can see Tommy Hearns there on behind me there on the screen, a total legend, and I'm from Detroit, grew up, born and raised in Detroit. Tommy, the Hitman Hearns, Motor City Cobra, Detroit. You had the 4 kings of boxing, Hagler, Hearns, Leonard, Duran. And it was a rivalry that was second to none. Leonard and Duran fought 3 times, Hagler and Hearns only once, Hearns and Leonard twice. It was who could be the best of that group, and the rivalries were deep. And there were factions of people that rooted for Marvin or rooted for Tommy or Sugar Ray, or really respected both or any of the 4 for going up against each other. It's much like, the Lakers and the Celtics, the Bulls and the Pistons. There was so much there. You see Steve Yzerman in the back there. It was Colorado and Detroit. There was rivalries, folks. If you do not have rivalries in the game, any one of the games, there is less meaning to it. And so if you're jumping around from team to team to team, there's no cohesion. There's no, we grew this together. We started this together. We want to win 2 championships together, or 3 or 4. Sorry to sound like LeBron, but it does mean something. And can we stay that way? So the health of the game, in my opinion, though, the 25 to 44 viewership level is still very high. The game globally is watched. It's basically the most talked about. It has a real strong footprint on digital media and social media. It's very, very pushed that way. And part of that is the younger audience. If you look at the demo of the older people, such as my age or even older, it's a lot less. The percentage of interest in the game is a lot lower. So it thrives more on social media. And I believe that has helped keep the game relevant while it has been so destructed under the LeBron, regime or leadership versus others. So to me, it hit me hard this weekend in that this is not a celebration of the NBA for this All-Star weekend. This has been a piñata party for everybody to have a moment to say something about how kind of broken in many ways the league is. Scandal here, scandal there, tanking, load management, horrible dunk contest. There's so many different things going on. And you can only look at one man who basically has lost all. Maybe he never had it. Maybe he had it and lost it. Maybe he's run out of ideas, or he doesn't have the right people around him. But Adam Silver has a mess on his hands, and he's a clear target, 100% target. And I still hold true to this, and I'll end with this. The Luka Doncic trade, I still to this day believe that was the right trade for Nico Harrison. It's not a popular opinion. I said it when it happened. I said it ever since it happened, and I still feel that way today. You can't pay a guy like that $345 million. He's just a one-dimensional player, phenomenal at that one dimension, but you can't build your whole franchise around him. He's not a type A guy where it's like, hey, come follow me. It's just not. I give him credit for losing the weight, taking it more seriously. But that was all, in my opinion, choreographed. Nico Harrison didn't like wake up one morning and decide, I just don't have any idea of what I'm doing. I'm going to offer one of the best commodities in the NBA, and I'm going to offer it to one team only, named the Los Angeles Lakers, and I am only going to get an aging, broken down Anthony Davis and Max Christie for Luka Doncic. There is no way on earth. You cannot pull this one over me. I cannot be convinced a different way. The Dallas Mavericks decided, Nico Harrison and ownership, the DeMond family, Adelson family, they wanted to move on from Luka Doncic. I believe they had a conversation with Adam Silver. I believe they said, we want to move him, but this will have a tidal wave type of effect through the league. And I believe there was consulting going on behind the scenes. You call me crazy, call me a conspiracy theorist, I don't know. I'm just telling you that this is what makes complete and total logical sense as to what happened. There is no way that if you put Luka Doncic up on the market and you were taking the very, very best possible offer, that you could not do better. You would have a line of people, a line of organizations, a line of GMs, owners, whatever, getting involved in the bidding and drive the price up, 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 up. LA had to have a superstar. Kareem, Magic, Kobe, LeBron, Luka. It's Hollywood. It's Showtime. They had to have it. And then in exchange, we're going to make sure you get the number 1 overall draft pick, which we all knew was going to be Cooper Flagg. And how's that working out? Dallas in the end is going to be better off for it. I said that from the beginning. People think I'm crazy. It will work out better in the end for Dallas. Nico Harrison ended up being the sacrificial lamb, and he went away. It was always the right move. But you cannot tell me that Adam Silver did not have his hands in that. And once he realized that Dallas wanted to move on from him, that he did not put his footprints or his paw prints all over it and said, if you want to do that, you need to deal with Pelinka and Jeannie Buss and make it happen with the Lakers. You do that, we'll make sure that we get this taken care of for you. It's going to require a little bit of tanking. When I first brought this up, somebody said, well, that would mean that they need to tank some games to do that. Are you suggesting that they're doing that? Teams tanking games in the NBA is not a stretch. It wasn't a stretch then. It's certainly not a stretch now. It wasn't a stretch a year ago or 2 years ago or 5 years ago. This is not new. It's just happening more. And until it gets stopped, it's going to keep happening because there's a reward for doing so. Last thing here, how about that fan that wants to see that one team with their favorite player or players, say the San Antonio Spurs, let's say it's Wemby or something, and I got to see this guy, and he comes to town and you don't get to see him because these guys don't play 82 games. I looked up Isaiah Thomas back from my day. He really should be on this board behind me. The amount of games that he missed over his entire career prior to his Achilles injury and basically his final year where he missed the whole season because he tore his Achilles, it was like basically 13 or 15-ish games that he missed his entire career. Something like that. Don't quote me on that. I don't have it in front of me. But I looked it up the other day, and it blew me away, and that was very common. It's not like that anymore. Yes, the game is faster. You could say bigger, faster, stronger. These guys are positionless, and they play in basically like airport runways versus that half-court type setting. In the old days, it was the half-court type setting. We're going to beat you to a pulp. We're going to elbow you in the ribs. We're going to grind you in a half-court. We're going to get out and break and transition here and there, but we're going to settle down in the half court, and it's going to be a war. Now it's up and down. It's three-point contest. These guys are much more into sprinting. They're much more into closing out on threes because there was no threes way back in the early days. And then there was a little bit, but it was never a three-point game. It was never everybody was 6'9", 6'10", with a handle. Magic Johnson that was a revelation back in 1979, 80, 81. Could a guy 6'9", that size, could move the ball like that? Now you got guys like Cooper Flag. It's commonplace. 6'7", 6'8", 6'9", 6'10". You got guys like even like Sengun are holding the ball up at top. It's crazy. So the game has changed. The way it's played has changed. The way it's conditioned and trained for is changed. The evolution of the way the game is played at the younger level has attributed to what you see now at the highest level. And so it's difficult to compare both leagues in terms of that way because the game is structured different. And they take rest. I need to take a rest before whatever 4 or 5 game all-star break. It's just it's madness. It's unfair to the fans. It seems like it's in a spiral, but for some reason people keep on wanting to deal with it. And the only thing I could go back to is it's that trash talk. I'm better than you. And let's see who could one up somebody as to why in a social media or digital era, you can get on there and you could say, this guy's better than that guy. It was never about this guy's better than that guy. It used to be this team or my team is better than your team. Now it's, he's got no bag. He's got no handle. Can you believe this? What he did, not what they did. That's my opinion. What do you guys think? Drop your comments below. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notify button. And I guess if you're going to watch the game tonight, enjoy it. I don't know quite what's to enjoy it. I'm not going to watch it. I have no desire whatsoever. It does nothing for me. We'll see what the ratings end up being, but let me know what you guys think. Everybody have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.